point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh, I thought you were the one for me. That's why I give you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me.
for a couple minutes. Ooh, that's loud.
You shouldn't hear yourself now.
Okay.
Is there ever too loud? This little red knob right here, just make sure you turn it down a little bit. That's the speaker volume.
Are we live? All right. Hello, everyone in Samson World. Hopefully we have some folks tuning in today. We're going to be going over skyslope again. So just some FYI items. Anytime we're making updates, you can always go to the Cardinal Nest. We have a skyslope page right here in the middle. Okay. There's some awesome cheat sheets here for you, building offers, adding broker signature, how to set up a listing in skyslope, and what to do if you get a contract. So all of that information is here. Also want to remind you, I have open forum every Friday at 11 a.m. The link to join that open forum Zoom is right here on the Nest. There's also, thanks to our amazing team here, we've added some of our former trainings that we've recorded, so those are also here for you as well. Okay, so I definitely encourage you guys to visit the Nest. Update for GCAR members. Your forms are being formatted currently, and they're coming very, very soon. So as soon as everything is formatted, fillable, and usable, we're going to be updating everybody so that you can then start building your offers, listing agreements, etc. using GCAR forms in skyslope. So I'm going to go over some more of the forms, an intro to forms for you again today, and we'll also go into some quick tricks in skyslope on the transaction management dashboard. Okay. So, if you have questions, there should be a chat. If you're using YouTube, you can certainly ask questions there. Or do we have a call in for questions? No call in for questions today, just YouTube? Okay. Well, if you do need to contact me for questions on the Nest, all of my contact information is here. My email, my desk line. If I'm away from my desk, like I am right now, please do call me and leave a voicemail. I will call you back. If you have a particular issue or if you'd like to set up a private Zoom with me, please do email me and we can schedule some one-on-one time. Okay, so again, my name is Stephanie. All my contact information is here. We're going to go to skyslope. So anytime that you log into skyslope, this is your main dashboard. Any of your active transactions will be here. Now, in order to get to the forms to build your listing agreements, your buyer rep agreements, your offers, anything that you're having clients sign, you're going to click on the little apps button and go to forms. Okay. Also, some just housekeeping. If you need help and it's late at night, please do click on the help button. That can you can that way reach skyslope's support team. They are there 24 hours a day. Their contact information is on here. You can email, chat, or call them. If you do call, it is option number 2. And they do pick up on the second ring, I guarantee you that. Okay, so we've gone to our form side. Let's go ahead and get some documents signed today. We are going to work with a buyer. Hopefully it's getting a little bit easier for buyers out there. I'm going to work with a buyer today, and I'm going to use my email just for example purposes so you can see what the client sees. Okay. If I am working with Betty and I know a particular active listing that we're going to be offering on, I can import MLS data. Just keep in mind, anytime you are importing any of the MLS data, it has to be an active listing. It will not pull in coming soon or anything beyond active. Okay, so here are your active listings that you could import the data from. I'm just starting off with Betty. I'm going to name my file. Now, we do have incidents where we work with clients over and over and over. Maybe they are This is microphone number 2. Okay, sorry about that, guys. My mic just died. I want to make sure that you can hear me out there. Okay, I do need to name my file. We do have incidents where we work with clients repeatedly, so make sure your file name is either by an address, if you are working with a particular address, or the primary client's name. If you are choosing name, make this file name unique so that if you do work with this client again, you can utilize a new file. All right, I'm going to go ahead and work with one of the templates that Samson built for us. So we have a great template that's going to pull in all of the forms that we might use for this particular transaction. Not all of them will be applicable, but I will show you that in a minute. So I've chosen what sort of representation I'm doing. I've put in my client's name. I've named the file by inputting whatever I want in the file name, and I've selected a template. I'm going to go ahead and create this file. Now think about your forms file as your back office. This is just where you're pulling all the necessary paperwork that you might need to help this client. So I'm just starting off with Betty. I definitely want to get an exclusive right to represent her, and I'm going to go ahead and have her fill out some of our preliminary documents that Samson requires for all of our files, our affiliated business, our wire fraud, and our brokerage service fee explanation. Okay. Now, if there's a document in here that I know I won't need, for example, I know that Betty is not a VA buyer, I'm going to go ahead and click on the 3 little dots on top of that document, and I'm going to delete it. I don't need that form. I don't want it clogging up my file. Okay, so let's go ahead and pick the forms that we need for Betty to sign. We're going to choose the little bubble on the left-hand corner of each form that we need, fill and send. Now, if, for example, I needed to take these forms for Betty to sign on paper with wet or ink signatures, I could then download them and print them if I needed to take actual hard copies, okay? But I know that Betty's going to sign these online, so I'm going to go ahead and fill them out. If you ever have a warning on top of a form that you are viewing an outdated version, just go ahead and update now. It'll blink and you'll have your most updated form to utilize, okay? I'm going to make this agreement with Betty expire at the end of September. Make sure you click OK on the calendar. Just clicking the date will not lock it in. Now, if you notice, all the changes I made to this form have already auto-saved. I'll show you again. Okay. Anything that I put in the blue fields will auto-save. In the event I have to save and exit, leave my computer, if I do need to come back to these forms, I'm simply going to reselect the forms that I was working on. Fill and send. If I want to reorder the way that these forms are viewed by my client when they're signing them, I can click and drag the 4 little lines to the left of the document name and move them into the order that I want. Okay. If you notice, we still don't have our buyer's signature or our broker's signature auto-populating here. That's going to happen in the next screen, which is the prepare signature portion. If I want to bounce to the next document, I can go ahead and click on the name of the document, and it takes me right to the next document. Okay, so I've got everything filled out just the way I like it. I'll browse through, just double check to see that all of the information is there. I'm going to put my broker's information. And I am ready to prepare these documents for Betty to sign. Now, throughout the life of any deal with any client, we routinely send documents. So it's super important right here, guys, that you rename your envelope. Otherwise, it will revert to the file name, and throughout the life of your deal, anytime you're sending documents, you'll have the same envelope name. So just rename your documents. Do we have a question out there? No questions? Okay, so I've renamed my envelope. I want to make sure that Betty, my client, signs, and I want to make sure that I receive a copy. However, for one of the documents, I do know that I need to sign it. So I'm going to go ahead and mark myself as needing to sign. Notice I have not yet added the broker. I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Okay. This is super important. You cannot save any work that you do here. Ooh, why did it put my initials here? I'm going to need to go back. We have a little error. If you need to revise any of the contacts within your file, go to your file details. I'm going to mark myself here as just to receive a copy. I'm going to hit save. Let me go back to my forms, select the forms I need for my client to sign. For those of you that are working with associations whose forms are not in skyslope, you can upload the documents here. Fill and send. Place these in the order that I want them. Prepare signature. Rename your envelope. sure that this document is correct now. Oh, this is the form I'd like. Okay, so all of the client's initials and signatures should auto-populate, but it is your responsibility to look through your form and make sure that all the signature blocks are there. Oh, this one's missing, so I'm going to need to add Betty's signature. I'm going to click on signature, float over to where I need her signature, click in the negative or white space to lock it in. I also need to add the date. Choosing the date field is a timestamp for when that signer signs. Click in the white to lock it in. Okay. I also need Betty's signature here. Click in the white to lock it in. You can use date, which is a date stamp for when the signer signs, or you can use time. Time equals the date and time that the signer signs. Click in the white to lock it in. Okay, so now I want to go back to my exclusive right to represent form, and I want to add my broker. Okay, here's my list of recipients. Betty White needs to sign. I need to receive a copy, but I don't yet have my broker initialing. It's super important that we add the broker the same time we're sending this document out, but changing the signing order. And I'm going to show you how to do that. There's these three little magic dots in the recipients box. When you click on those dots, you have the opportunity to edit your recipients. You can add a new recipient. I'm going to add Steve, my broker. Please look up your appropriate signing broker. It does depend by state, perhaps region, and we do have a new one, Kimberly Chen for Maryland. So start sending all your information to Kimberly for you Maryland folks. I'm going to put my email address in just for example purposes. The broker does need to sign, but I want to change the broker's signing group. They will need to sign after the first group. Who signs first? Betty. Once I choose the broker's signing group to the last available slot and hit save, who signs second? Steve, my broker. Okay, and who receives a copy? I do. That's where you're going to change that. Okay, so now Steve has been added to my list of signers. I'm going to work with adding his signature or his initials to where I need them. I'm working with Steve from my drop-down of signers. I'm going to choose initial, float over to where I need to place the initial, one click. Okay, now a time-saving tip I'm going to show you today is anytime you have an active tab pointing directly at the signature or initial block that you just placed, that means it's active, it's hot. I can use any one of these actions for that active block that I just placed. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this one, hit copy, scroll down to the next page, don't click, find where that next initial block needs to go and hit paste. It's going to copy the exact initial, the size, and the placement on the next page. Okay, that block is now active. I'm going to scroll down to the next page and hit paste. Scroll and paste. Make sure just the one page is in view, otherwise you may confuse the system on where it's pasting and on what page. Okay, now I need to add the signature for Steve. I'm going to go ahead and choose signature, one click, click in the white to lock it in, and I need to add the date. Resize it, move it, make it nice and neat and viewable. Click in the white to lock it in. Okay. I'm going to just check for all my signatures. Okay. If I forgot to add some verbiage somewhere, I can use the text field action. Place my text box where I need it, but if you notice, it's assigned to the same color as Steve. I don't want that. I just want it to be a read-only text. I'm going to go ahead and click while it's active and got this active tab pointing towards it. I'm going to go ahead and click Read Only. That turns it gray, and I can now enter in any text I want, and it won't be assigned or color-coded to any of my recipients. Okay. You can resize it, make it nice and neat and beautiful. Click in the white to lock it in. Okay. Now that everything's good, all my signatures are there. I entered in my read-only text. If I forgot something previously, I'm going to go ahead and hit send. The envelope that we prepared is the grouping of documents that are going into an envelope to go in the mail, email, to send to your clients and the broker or any recipients to view or sign. They will all receive the same email, so please don't make your email to send to them anything particular to one person. Make it nice and neutral. And hit send for signatures. Okay. Your envelope has been sent. Here's your envelope full of all your paperwork. It's in the mail. Email. Click I'm done. So here's our envelope. We renamed it the Rep Agreement Forms. If you click on the three little magic dots on the end of your envelope name, you can view the history. That will show you all the email addresses that the envelope was sent to and who sent it, what time it was sent, and we're waiting for our recipients to sign. If you need to download the documents that are within the envelope, you can download the envelope as a single PDF, or you can download the individual PDFs. It will zip the file for you. If you caught a mistake, you can cancel signing, or if someone said they didn't receive the email, you can go ahead and resend the envelope here. I'm going to go ahead and sign this for you so that you know what the client sees. So anybody signing electronically does need to agree to the e-signature terms, and they will hit start. It will guide them through the document. The first time they're clicking on their required field to initial or sign, they'll need to choose their font. It will then continue to guide them, and they can sign everywhere they need to sign. There's that date. It auto-populates the correct date for when the email was opened and signed. Perfect. Now, Betty can download the documents that she signed, or she can go back and view them in the browser. Now, because Betty signed, now our broker will then get an email. And your brokers know how to sign quickly and efficiently if you've set it up for them to sign quickly and efficiently. Okay. Now that everyone has signed, I now have a completed envelope. If I hover over the line for the envelope and click on it, it will show me what's inside. So I can now see that I have my client signature and the broker signature on all the documents where I placed their signatures. Here's that read-only text. Here's their signatures. Okay. Now that I have a buyer rep agreement with Betty, I'm going to go ahead and create her offer. I'm going to select the offer documents that I need. Betty's going to pay cash, so we're not going to use a financing agreement today. And we'll say we're going to get her a home inspection though. She's going to pay cash, so she's going to be able to get a home inspection. Fill and send. Okay. Oh, I'm going to have Sampson Properties hold her EMD. And I'm going to hit save. 3 days. Now, this is not a contract writing class, so if you need more info on which forms to choose for your offers and how to fill out your contracts, our brokers do host some amazing contract writing classes. So please, definitely, if you're a new agent or a returning agent and you just need a refresher on how to write a contract, please do definitely sign up for those classes. Emails go out all the time on which contract classes are being held and when. Oh, Betty's going to close on Friday the 13th. Anytime you're using the calendar, choose the date and hit OK. Okay. I'm going to get Betty a home inspection for info only. Okay. Now, if I wanted to import a specific address, I can import the MLS data, and I'm going to show you what that does. Let's pick a good property here for her that's in her price range. Here we go. Okay, do you want to replace existing data with the imported data? Yes, I do. If you had already imported some information, you can go ahead and do that. Import. There we go. It puts in the listing brokerage. And it also imports, I will show you on the last page here all of the information for that listing brokerage. Now you may still have to look up the firm information, maybe some of the phone number from Bright, but it will put in some basic MLS data for you. Okay, and again, it will put in the information from the MLS. Please double check your contracts. There is some tax record information that would go in for seller, but it will do some of the work for you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and prepare signature. Now, please be very careful. If you do not want the listing agent to receive this offer just yet, please mark them as no action. Betty does need to sign. I'm going to receive a copy, and I'm going to rename my envelope as offer docs. Question? Person out there in Samson World, we're going to get a mic so we can hear your question.
Okay. We have it now.
Okay.
You can see my levels in here. The question from online is, for new homes contracts ratified through the builder's process, do we just simply upload the ratified contract and forward the package to the reviewer after attaching the BBA, affiliated business agreement, etc.?
You want your new construction buyer to sign some of our required forms. So you should have a representation agreement for that buyer. So go ahead and send them initially your representation agreement, your ABA form, your wire fraud form. On it's really quick so I can show you. And for our next half hour or next hour, I do want to do some more skyslope training versus forms training. But yes, if you have a new construction, you're still going to utilize that a forms file for that client because they do need to sign certain documents. You can go ahead and attach the builder ratified contract in your forms file, select it, upload it into your forms file, along with the ABA form. I have a new construction in here, so I can show you that. I only have a couple, but you would upload that ratified contract into your forms file, upload documents here. You should have it in your email perhaps, or if sometimes the builders use DocuSign or .loop, go ahead and upload it. It will appear here. Select your appropriate forms, fill and send so that the buyer can sign our ABA and everything. And what will happen is when you are creating that transaction, create transaction, you will then choose your skyslope forms file, okay? So that anything that you do have signed over there will automatically come in. I'm going to go write an offer for Betty really quick so I can show you how those forms files come in.
Okay, cool. So if anything comes in, you just speak it. Yeah, so these are people watching online, so if they have questions, nobody's here, so just keep the light on.
So we said Betty was paying cash and we were going to get her a home inspection. I'm going to prepare signature. Be very careful here. Right now, I don't want the listing agent to receive anything. I'm going to rename my envelope. Okay. Betty needs to sign. I'd like to receive a copy once she's done. I'm going to hit next. I'm going to go through this rather quickly so I can get to the end result here for you. I'm just browsing through to make sure all of my client signatures are where they should be. If I need to add a text field, I can certainly do that. Remember to make it read only so that it's gray and neutral. Click in the white to lock it in. Betty's going to do info only. Anytime there's an option on a form, the computer does not know which option your client is choosing. You need to tell it where to initial. If you get a red error, just try again. Here we go. Okay. Ready to send. Send for signature. Here's that envelope. Notice we renamed the envelope prior to sending for signature. It is imperative that if I can stress anything enough on the form side, it's to please change your envelope name. That way you know what's in the envelope going forward. If you have to reference those documents again, you know what is in them. We're going to sign this really quick for Betty. And we will get to our skyslope transaction, which is super important that I share with you. Unfortunately, they do have to go through and read everything very carefully as they're signing it. Oh, we missed this option here. Click that. Here we go. If she misses one, it'll just take her back until she's gotten all of her fields completed. I now have a completed envelope for Betty. I'm ready to, I can click on it to review it. There's her signatures. All the information is correct. Okay. I want to download this offer as a single PDF to send to the listing agent. Okay. I'll write an email to the listing agent. I downloaded that single PDF. Here it is. Betty White offer docs. Okay. The listing, I'm sending just from my regular email, listing agent, here's Betty White's offer. I'm going to write a nice, lovely message. Okay, so that's how you would do that. Now, that listing agent in this pretend world has ratified the contract and emailed it back to me. I'm the buyer's agent. I now have a ratified contract. I'm under contract with Betty. I need to put my transaction in the skyslope dashboard. Your screen may look a little bit different, but if you go to manage, you should have a create transaction button. You can also go to manage transaction. There's several avenues to get your work done here. So you're going to create a transaction. Okay. It's going to ask me how I would like to create my transaction. I'm going to choose skyslope forms and choose this file for Betty that I had been working on. It's going to import some of the data that I had built in, so it's doing some of the work for me. I need to choose the appropriate checklist. I'm in Virginia, and I'm doing a residential purchase. I am representing a purchaser or a tenant. Okay. We're going to say our contract was ratified today. And you may or may not have to do this. Spell my name right. There we go. Okay. If you have a co-agent who's working with you, you can certainly add their information here. This will pull up any Sampson Properties agents who have a skyslope account. Okay. How did I get Betty? She was a personal referral. And it pulled in the closing date from the offer docs that I wrote on. So it will do some of the work for you if you choose the form side when you are creating your transaction. Always double check that you're utilizing the correct checklist for your state. Okay, we have checklists for DC transactions, Maryland transactions, Virginia, and West Virginia. So please do make sure, this is super important, that you're using the right checklist. I'm going to go ahead and hit next, and I need to answer some questions. Now, some of these may already be auto-populated because it pulls the information from those contract documents. Your job here is to fill in any of the red asterisk items. If you have additional information, by all means, the more the merrier, but your job will be to do the red asterisk items. And you do need to put in a phone number. Okay, I've gotten all my red asterisk items to turn into green check marks. I can go ahead and hit submit. I've got to put in the commission I'm receiving. Remember, only red asterisk items. And who's holding the earnest money. If you have the date of the check, fantastic. Go ahead and put that in. If you have any additional information, please by all means put it in. But in order to get your file in, red asterisk items are going to be super important. Here's my checklist. Yours will look different. I'm in pretend training mode. Your required items will be red. But I'm going to go over to my Documents tab. Now, because I had my client sign everything on forms, it's all just automatically dumped in, spilled over into my Documents tab. The only thing I have to do now is assign them to the checklist. We're going to do some more advanced, a little bit more advanced training today. So, I'm going to go back to my checklist. What do I need? I need the exclusive right to represent. I know I have that. I need the ratified contract. I can pull the MLS listing from Bright. You can assign to your contract a couple of different ways. So, I know I have the ratified contract. I'm going to go ahead and attach it. And I can upload it from my computer. Or I can assign it right here. Once I hit attach on my checklist, it takes me directly to my documents. I'm going to go ahead and hit assign. It's now been added. Your pendings will be orange. Okay? I know I have an exclusive right to represent. I'll show you another way I can attach it to my checklist. Here's my exclusive right to represent. I'm going to go ahead and click on the checkbox to the left of the document, and I'm going to hit assign. That'll bring up a drop down for my checklist. I'm going to choose the appropriate checklist item that it goes to. Okay. Once you have a little paper clip next to your document name, that means that it's been assigned to your checklist. Okay. Some other items in here. You have an eyeball next to all the documents. That's a preview. All you need to do is hover over the eyeball and it will give you a preview of the document. Okay, you don't need to click on it. Just hover and wait and it'll give you a preview. Okay. Now, if I need to email something to an outside party or anybody else, there is an internal email in here. So I can go ahead and use that, and I'm going to show you how that works today. I'm going to choose the document that I want to email using the little checkbox. Click email. I'm going to send this to someone. It will automatically attach the email. It will automatically put the subject line in. If you want a different subject line, and hit send. It'll attach that document and send that email. And it will come directly from your email address. Here it is. There's the attachment. Now, anytime I have a document inside an email, all of our transactions have their own unique email address. Here's the email address for this transaction. I'm going to go ahead and copy this email address. And let's find a document here. It'll only dump in PDFs, so please make sure that you forward anything to your transaction's unique email account. Make sure it's a PDF. Let me find one here for us. Here we go. So I have a PDF here. I'm going to forward it to my transaction's unique email account. There's the unique email account for my transaction. I don't need to do anything other than forward or create a new email to this transaction's unique email account. Hit send. Give it a few minutes to float through the internet. Maybe refresh your screen. Let's see if it comes in. Let me go to my checklist. Did I hit send? Yes, I did. To Archer Court. There it is. Let me go back to my checklist. Here it is. Just magically came in. No uploading, no downloading. So if you have the other agent emailing you PDFs and they're completed, they're signed by everybody, or they're ratified, great. You can go ahead and email it, forward that email, and email that PDF to your transaction's unique email account. Now, there is also a DigiSign function in here. It is much different than the DigiSign function on the form side, but it is here for you as a tool. All the tools are here for you. Let's say you needed to get an additional signature on the home inspection. Okay, I'm going to select the form. I'm going to DigiSign it. It will look different, but it does have at least the minimum capability for you. Okay, there's the form I selected to go to DigiSign. Hit next. Who needs to sign this form? It's pulled in all of the contacts from your forms, and when you put that information in the forms, the transaction details. I need Betty to sign this or initial it really quick, and I'd like to receive a copy. I'm going to drag myself over here to receive a copy. Maybe not. Unclick myself. Add a signer group. You can add a signer group if you have somebody else who needs to sign. You can also do this, guys, if you forgot to add broker signature on an exclusive right to represent. You can do that here as well. I'm going to go ahead and hit next, and I will show you this just so that you know the capability is there for you. Okay. Maybe I need Betty to sign over here, or I forgot to put in some information. I can do a writable or a read-only. Place that read-only. 2 days. I want to move it, make it nice and neat. Resize it. And I want to add an initial. So the capability is here for you. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and hit send. It will then send an email. You can change the subject. Hit send. Can I change the email address? Oh, okay. Initial on home inspection. Thank you. Send for signature. So the capability is here for you as a kind of last resort item, or as a means of you doing all of this doing all these revisions to any of your paperwork. Okay. How will that look to the client? Here it is. Looks very similar. This function, it's just different, but the capability is there for you. She needs to choose her initial. She needs to choose start. There's that read only that I put in, and she's going to initial and submit. She's done. Now, where does that document go? Let's go to our transaction, and I will show you where it goes. Click on the appropriate transaction. Oh, that's not the one I was working on. Go back to my transactions. Pending. Okay. There it is. There's that most recent one that I had her initial. I can hover over the eyeball. There's her initial that I placed, and the read-only text that I placed. Okay. So all the functions are here for you. You can really do anything you need to do, all within SkySlope. I'm going to attach this or assign this as it's an other addendum item. I'm going to go ahead and put it on my ratified contract. Ratified contract and all addenda. I'm going to go ahead and put it there. Perfect. Okay. Do we have any questions? No questions. Okay. So if you need to remove a document, maybe you accidentally placed the wrong checklist item, before it's been approved, you can do that. Just use the X here to remove the document. Are you sure? Yes. If you have more than one document, you may not have that little X. Just click on the paperclip and you'll now have X's here to remove any of the documents that don't belong or that aren't quite right. You do have that option. I was just alerted that anytime you are receiving emails from your reviewer on maybe incomplete or rejected checklist items and you have a question, I know the email is a no reply email, but you can actually just reply to that email and it goes right to your reviewer. So in the event you do have a question or need to clarify with your reviewer about a certain document or a transaction, you are receiving emails usually within minutes of placing a document on your checklist. The review team is super quick and we're super grateful for that. You can just reply to the no reply email. Your reviewer will get it if you need to clarify an item on your checklist or if you have questions about why or what they're seeing. And you can always use me as a buffer as well. I'm happy to look at your transactions for you. If you're not sure who your reviewer is, they are assigned by office, so it is here who's doing my file review. Okay. Chantilly has some file reviewers. Arlington, Fredericksburg, Stafford, Locust Grove, Culpeper are all under Ashley. McLean, Lake Ridge. So know which office you are assigned to and who your reviewer is. Again, you're probably getting emails from them within minutes of uploading a document or assigning a document to your checklist. If you have a question or need to clarify, just go ahead and reply back. They will receive it. I'll go ahead and show you one of my transactions. I'm going to log out really quick and show you how to split documents since we have a good half hour. Do we have a question out there?
Stephanie, we have a question.
What's your question?
Assuming I'm a listing agent for a rental property,
Okay.
and I have somebody interested in the property, not coming through a real estate agent, but off the street. So
Okay.
I sign a disclosure of unrepresented.
Okay.
Right? Now, many times the reviewer would send a listing, say, I need to get the W-9 for the
Okay.
listing agent. I
Yeah.
need to get the agreement, and I don't have. Where can you put that notation on the file so the reviewer would understand that this is being rented by the listing agent?
Right. You have an unrepresented. There's no
Exactly,
W-9
exactly.
or a Samson to Samson.
Exactly,
Yes.
yes.
Let me.
So that she keeps sending it, it's in red, and you have to give them a notation somehow. How are they going to understand that, look, I cannot give you a W-9 or I cannot give you another okay?
Yeah, totally get that. I'm going to show you exactly where you're going to do that. And there was a recent update now, so that your reviewer is actually updated, gets a little ping. Isn't that Sarah's word, ping? She gets a little ping when you make that note. So I'm going to show you. Let me reactivate one of my listings. Oh, I must have withdrawn all of them. Let me find a listing transaction for you. Issa, right? Yes, I remember. Oh, I was doing a lot of purchases in this pretend world. Anytime you need to leave a note for your reviewer, I will show you. Oh, here's one that's incomplete. Oh, that was a referral. Bear with me, folks. I have a lot of pretend transactions. And maybe this Here we go. This is a listing. Oh yeah, you had a rental listing, right? W9, it wants a W9. Just put a note here. You can say Samson to Samson and hit save. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do.
I've done that before, and I've never seen it change. So what I did.
Before, they weren't getting alerted. There's a recent update. They are now getting pinged. Anytime you save a note in here, they're now getting pinged.
Okay, that's important because what happened, I had to go on Word and make a note. The listing agent has rented this property, then download it to the file and then send that information to it. But now that you're telling me we have that ability, that's great.
Yes,
Okay.
you have that ability. I want to take this off. Hopefully that's saved. That's all you need to do.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Can I have another question?
Yeah. Can you use the mic in case somebody out there in Sampson Properties has that same question?
Thank you. When, for instance, let's assume I do a lease
Mm-hmm.
and I send it out to the tenants, the prospective tenants to sign, and they send it back to me.
Yes.
The envelope comes back to me, excuse me, but then I have to send it to the landlord to sign off on the lease, right?
Yeah, you're representing the tenant?
I represent the landlord.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
And the tenants are unrepresented?
Yes.
Okay.
So they send the lease to me.
Mm-hmm.
They've signed the lease. I need to send the lease now to the landlord, right?
Okay.
How I do it now, I download the lease, right?
Yeah. You download the completed
Yeah,
tenant
download.
signed envelope.
Exactly. And then I bring it in back into the system, and I have to put all the signatures and initials, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the only way to do it? Or is
No,
another
that's the
shorter way?
wrong way to, that's the
Okay,
long
the
and hard
long,
way to do it.
Exactly, okay.
That is the long and hard way to do it. So if you have a lease, you represent the landlord. I
Right.
have a file here for Mr. Larry Landlord. Okay. Let me go find our lease. What you would do is, you have, while you're preparing the lease, okay, fill it all out, make sure it's all good. Lease docs, landlord needs to sign. I'm going to receive a copy. Go ahead and hit next. You're going to do the same thing we would do for broker signature and do a signing group. So some agents, there's no right or wrong way of who signs the lease first. Some agents like to have the tenant sign first. Some agents prefer to have the landlord sign first. There's no right or wrong way.
The tenant should sign first.
There really is no
Because,
rule.
You don't want the landlord to sign and then the tenant make changes so this
Yeah, I don't want to get into that discussion because there really is no right or wrong way. Sometimes the landlord want to make sure all their terms are signed off on and they're okay with all the terms and then send it to the tenant.
Okay.
So it's totally fluid. But you would do it here, edit recipients.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go ahead and add our tenant. I'm going to show you a couple ways, okay? So we want, in your example, you want the tenant to sign first, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to add her to signing group number 1, okay? But I want the landlord to sign after.
Right.
I'm going to change his signing group to signing group number 2. Tina, tenant, signs first. Larry, landlord, signs second. So what happens is the lease goes to Tina first. Tina has to complete all of her signatures, and then it'll go to Mr. Landlord for him to sign. I'll receive a copy once it's all done, or I'll have a completed envelope.
So it has to be edited in the.
You can edit it in here. Yeah, the signing groups
In the signing
need
group.
to be edited in the recipients.
That answers my question.
Yep. Does that help?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I'm going to show you one more place where you would put that contact. In your file details, You can add the tenants here, okay, and we can select their role. So I'm going to show you what happens when I do that. Thank you for coming in and asking questions. Okay. I want my tenant to sign. Yeah, no problem. And definitely swing by if you're here in the Chantilly office and I'm here, definitely swing by and come see me. I'm right in the drop-in area. So I've added Tina Tenant to the file details as a contact, right? So if I now have this form, if this is unrepresented, you totally have every call to like go ahead and put them in. Sometimes maybe if that tenant has their own agent, you can ask the tenant's agent, hey, do you want me to send it to your clients or not? Sometimes they like to review. So I'm preparing the lease. I've put Tina in as the tenant. She needs to sign. Oh, I forgot her email. Okay. It should place everybody's signatures where they belong. So you don't have to manually do it. There it is. There's Mr. Landlord. There's Tina Tenant. All in there. Okay. Be wary of some of the colors. Sometimes the colors are like super similar. So just make sure if you click on it and make it active, it'll give you the tab will show the initial of who is who. Okay. So yep. You're so welcome. No problem. If anybody has a question, I will answer it for you. I will fix it for you. Do we have a question out there?
We do have a question.
All right. What's our next question?
They're asking, do you need to notify the reviewer when the file is complete and ready to be reviewed?
No, you do not. They are reviewing your checklist as you are entering the documents. So there's no more final submission button. They are approving your documents within minutes of you sending them. So if you have a checklist item, if you have a checklist and everything is complete, I'm going to show you one. There is nothing further that you need to do. Oh, got my number lock on. Here's my checklist. I've got these items are complete. I don't have to, once I get the rest of my checklist items in there, I don't have to do anything else. If all of my checklist items, my requireds are complete, I'm done. You know, for closings, you do have to make sure you upload your ALTA, but otherwise, you should be all done document by document. There is no final submission button. They're being reviewed and approved and completed the moment you are assigning the documents. So just document by document. As you're getting those documents in and they're done, completed, ratified documents, put them on your checklist. Do it throughout the life of your deal. Don't wait till you have everything later to start adding items. Add them as you receive them. Add them to your checklist as you receive them. Any other questions out there? Let me see here. I have multiple documents. Let me see if I can split this for you. Ooh, I don't know if we're going to split that. That's 166 documents. There is a lot of space on skyslope, so if you have PDFs and it's hundreds of pages, go ahead and put it in there. It'll save it for you. But yeah, checklist, document by document, get them in as you're getting them ratified or as an addendum's being signed and it's signed by both parties. Go ahead and get it in. It'll all be completed document by document. There's no final review button. Makes it super easy, and our review team is super quick. So let me go back to forms here. Well, I'm going to split a document. I do have a lot of questions about split documents. A lot of times we might send all of the required documents along with the offer, what I would stress to you guys is only send your envelopes with what you need to be grouped together and how you want them to be seen by the client, how you want them to be seen by the listing agent or the other agent on the other side. If you are grouping a bunch of documents together, let's do this, DPOR and brokerage service and lead-based paint, for example. Okay. Rename your envelope. I'm going to sign these so that I can show you guys how to split documents and assign them to the checklist at the same time, which is one of the more frequent questions I've been getting. And we have a good 20 minutes left, so I do want to go over this with you. Actually, anything that you do group together here in the envelopes, once it's signed and dumps into your transaction, it'll split it for you. So for those folks that are utilizing an outside source and you have a bunch of documents grouped together and you need to split and assign them, or your client signed on paper, I'm going to show you how to split them, and or always call me. We will split them over the phone. I've been doing that with folks a lot, and that seems to be super helpful. Let me see if I have anything here that I can split. Ooh, that might be a big file. All right, so I've uploaded in a file and it has 89 pages together, but I need to split those pages. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. This is an old file, so I do apologize, but I've got my, I've got my contract, I've got all these things in one document. My reviewer is telling me I need to split them, and I don't know how. One, call me right away. Two, I can show you briefly how we're going to do that. Okay, so I've got this one document. It's got everything all lumped together. I want to hit split. It's going to show me a preview here of the document, and I need to split it and assign it to the appropriate checklist items on my checklist. So I'm going to split and assign at the same time. So let's see, I have a rebate here. So I know this starts at page 22. I'm going to start at page 22, and you can do this in order, out of order, doesn't matter. Your goal here is to split and assign. Let's see, this is 23. So I'm going to do page 22 to 23. I know I have a rebate item on my checklist. Here's my rebate letter. What else do I have here? I have my residential sales contract is at page 26. So just start typing in the field here and it'll pull up your checklist items. Ratified contract and other addenda. I know that starts at page 26. So I'm going to choose page 26. How many pages does that go for? Remember, it's ratified contract and all addenda. There's my ratified contract. I have some other contingencies and addendums attached to it. That's going to go to page 50, 26 to 50. I know that my DPOR is on here. That's page 51 to 51. I'm going to type in DPOR. There it is. Okay, I have another addendum here on page 52. So I believe we have additional addenda line item, that's if applicable, that I can use. That's 52 to 52. Oh, here's my affiliated, my ABA. That starts at page 53. I can start typing in affiliated, 53 to 55. And if that's all I want to split and attach to my checklist, that's all I want to worry about attaching. I don't worry about all those other 30 million other pages. I'm going to go ahead and hit split and assign. It's thinking about it. Nice job. You split 5 documents and 5 were attached to your checklist. Let's go to my checklist and see. Here it is. They've all been assigned to the items that I assigned them to. So that was a very quick version on how to split and assign, but it's there for you. You just have to know where to click, how, and how it works, but it is all there for you. You don't have to use an outside Adobe splitter or anything. It's all in here for you. Any questions out there? No questions yet? We do have a text number. If you have a question, there is a text number down at the screen somewhere that you can see, that I can't see, but you can see. So text in your questions. We have a good 12 minutes left. If you have something that's particular that you want me to look at for you, go ahead and text in your questions. I'll answer it right on the spot. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you, we do have, if you're new to Samson or you're an agent that works in multiple regions, just want to show you your broker information really quick. So we have a brokers and signers. Since I'm the skyslope trainer, I have a lot of signing, questions. So brokers and signers right here on the nest. So we have our principal brokers and our signatories, I think that's how you say that, per region. So they are all here for you, okay? Maryland. So definitely, and then Kim Chen will be added here shortly. So definitely start sending your Maryland docs, send them to Kim. Do we have a question? Hey, what's your question?
After a file is closed, let's assume the transaction is closed, you have settled now, right?
Yeah.
What happens in that file, and where can you retrieve the information in that file? I want to take a look at the folder now.
Okay. I don't know if I have any closed in here because this is my pretend land, but I don't actually close transactions in here. Yeah. Let me show you mine. So for those of you that don't know me, I am also an agent here with Samson for 6 years. So I'm out there with you. I've been there with you. I'm through this whole skyslope transition. I've been there with you. We're all in this together. So you have closed transactions. You want to maybe look at their files again. You can go to Manage Transactions, and they're all, just scroll down. They're all here. Okay, I know we're like always looking at this top and all these active things, but if you just scroll down, they're all here. So all your closed transactions are down here. So if you need to look at them, if you need to pull that, maybe you didn't save the lease to an external hard drive or print it out and keep it in a paper file. It's all here for you, so you can go and look at your documents. They're all here. Okay? Yep, just scroll down. Sometimes I know we're looking at all the things that are active, but if you just go ahead and scroll down or scroll up, you'll find the appropriate button that I'm telling you to look for, but they're all there for you. Another thing that some agents, especially during the transition, were using was working documents. This is your storage. So if you have documents that you want to just keep in here, historical documents, use the working documents. It's basically unlimited storage or very high amounts of storage, so you can put your items in here, okay, for safekeeping. But always a good idea to have an external thumb drive or a Google Drive or a Dropbox, something where you keep your external files for safekeeping and historical reference. Any other questions out there? Any other questions in-house? All right, well, I think we had a really great session today. Again, if you need my information, go to the skyslope page. And there's a lot of info on here, so give it a minute. My phone number for my desk line is here. My email address is here. I will be making rounds to your different offices to show you skyslope. If you want a private Zoom with me, please email me. I will be going out on the tech tour days, so I hope to meet with you and get you more comfortable with this. Please let me know if you have any questions. I think we're good to go. Thank you for tuning in today. Happy selling.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Building your business online takes effort, and when it's ready for the world to see, that's